This is a game design document, and it's probably one of the most important parts of any game dev journey. It's not some magical artifact that guarantees success, but it helps you stay focused, make thoughtful decisions, and avoid the biggest enemy of any game developer, scope creep. So in this video, I will break down how to create a GDD that actually helps without it feeling like homework. And I will show you how I created the GDD for my own game, Rogue Inferno, using my template. If you want to get my template, you can join my Discord, link in the description, where you will find a Notion template as well as a docs and a PDF template. Anyways, theory is cool and all, but let's see it in action. The first element in your GDD will be the title. It's not necessarily the first thing that you will write. You'll most likely come up with a name later once you have a properly defined idea. But it should be the first thing that anyone can read on your GDD. Damn, I'm saying GDD a lot. In my case, my game is called Rogue Inferno. Why? Because it's a roguelike where you're trying to rescue your dog from a monster or demon who kidnapped him and brought him to hell. So that's it. Rogue from roguelike and Inferno, aka hell. Then we have the core concept or summary. It should be epic but also descriptive. For example, here's the core concept or description for Rogue Inferno. Rogue Inferno is a grid-based roguelike deck builder where every move counts. Choose your hero, build your deck, master tactical movement and powerful combos, and adapt your strategy to save your loyal dog. This is the short description that you can find on Steam, wishlist now by the way. And I don't mean to brag, but it's a pretty good description. Why? First of all, you know exactly what you can expect from the game. Grid-based? Check. Roguelike? Check. Deck builder? Check. Master tactical movement and powerful combos suggests a rewarding learning curve. And with save your loyal dog, there is an emotional element that adds personal stakes. Now, here's a bad example of a description for the same game, a previous iteration that I made. In a world engulfed by flames, a lone warrior descends into darkness, facing trials and choices that define his destiny. Will he find what he's lost, or will the inferno consume all? It sounds dramatic, sure, but what kind of game is it? Is it an RPG, a platformer, a walking simulator? No clue. Many people think that creating an epic description is enough, but it's just not. Like Chris Sakowski from howtomarketagame.com said, so many developers are so close to their game that they forgot that other people don't know what you know. So when writing your core concept, aim for clarity over mystery. Be bold, but be clear. Next, we have an extremely important aspect, the unique selling points. Why should players buy your game and not a different one? And why should a potential publisher care about your game? Here you have to list all the things that make your game stand out. For example, with Rogue Inferno, these are the unique selling points. Unique characters, each with their own playstyle and deck of cards. Grid-based strategy meets deck building. A unique card upgrade system, and lastly, an emotional journey about the irreplaceable bond between humans and their dogs. As you can see, my game is heavily focused on gameplay, so 3 out of the 4 selling points are gameplay related, and the last one is about the story. If you're making a narrative game, then your selling points will revolve around that. And if it's a game with gorgeous graphics because you're an artist or designer, then you should definitely talk about that. Sometimes your game will be more unique, and sometimes it will be similar to many existing games. But either way, you need to be confident and sell the things that you know people are gonna like and will make you stand out. And if there really isn't anything unique, then maybe you should reconsider your idea. Now we have the story. For this category, I like to talk about 3 elements. An overview. In my case, the story is simple, you're a warrior trying to rescue his dog, and the game focuses on the gameplay, so the only narrative element is the goal itself. Then I talk about the world or setting. In this case, the world is dark and divided into 3 biomes, the desert, the sewers, and hell. And then I talk about the main characters and story arcs. In my case, there's no major story, and the character changes with each playthrough. You can select whichever you want, but in all cases, you're a warrior trying to rescue his dog. Here you can also add some visual aid, like references from other games, family trees, or whatever. I just added these screenshots from my own game as an example. I didn't really use references because in my case the story is really simple. Now we have to define the game a bit more. We need to narrow it down with the gameplay and rules. I divided this into 3 categories: player actions, core mechanics, and rules. The player actions cover all the, actions that the player can do. In my case, the player can move, use cards to attack, defend, or apply effects. They can discard cards that are not useful. They can buy upgrades to improve their deck, and they can complete card-specific missions to upgrade them. As for the core mechanics, for now I only have the stance system, which is specific to the samurai, the character that I'm working on right now, but other characters will have their own abilities to be defined. Here, I want to point out that it's fine to leave something to be defined. Your game design document is not immutable. In fact, it shouldn't be. It should evolve with your game. Then we have the card upgrade system, where cards can be upgraded through missions with changes that alter how they function, or through shop upgrades, which will improve their stats. And the other core mechanic is resource management, because you have to balance your mana, your cards, your positioning, etc. As for the rules, they are really simple. Each action costs mana, whether it's moving or playing a card, and if you run out of mana, then your turn ends and the enemies take theirs. Enemies will move and attack based on simple AI patterns, making it easier to predict what they will do. If the player's health drops to 0, then it's game over. You lose all progress because it's a roguelike after all. And there's no meta progression. Every run starts fresh. There are no permanent upgrades. So if you want to win, you will have to learn and improve your strategy. And with those rules, we can talk about the progression. This once again depends a lot on your genre, and I divided this progression into two different categories. The progression within the story, like progressing in the map or unlocking new things. For example, in Pokemon, it would be unlocking new routes when you beat a gym leader. And then you have the character progression and unlockables, like when your Pokemon levels up or evolves. In my case, for the level structure, we know that the game is divided into 3 biomes, and the player navigates a map with diverging paths, similar to Wild Frost. And then as for the upgrades and unlockables, all progression comes within the run, where you have card upgrades by completing missions or visiting special nodes, so the store or the forts, and maybe relics, but I'm still considering whether I should add relics or not. This section also includes a visual aid, where you can add diagrams of level layouts or progression trees to visualize how the game progresses, but I just added Wild Frost map because it's the closest to what I want. And now we have the goal. Is there a set ending for your game, or can players just keep playing for as long as they want? In my case, the goal is to defeat all bosses and rescue your dog, but it's a roguelike, so there's extra content, and there isn't really a set ending. You can always play, and it will always be fun. And of course, you should have an estimated playtime. In Rogue Inferno, a single run should be between 30 and 50 minutes long, if you win. And most players should be able to beat the game within the first 10 tries with a single character. So around 3 to 4 hours for their first victory. But game dev isn't all about story and graphics and design. You actually have to make it. So next, let's cover the production and requisites. Here, we need to define things like the timelines, breaking it down into phases, and we also must cover the resources we will need and the budget. My timeline is the following. Pre-production should take around a month, then I will focus on the demo for 3 months, and then I will focus on the production of the final game, which should take around 4 extra months. Of course, the journey doesn't end there, and we must consider post-release updates and fixes. So for 2 months or so after release, I won't really be able to work on any new project, since I will still be focused on Rogue Inferno. As for the resources, the art is pixel art, and it's either bought and edited by me or created from scratch. The music is original and will be created by a friend of mine. The sound effects are from an asset pack, and I will obviously handle the programming because I'm a software engineer after all. The final budget should be around $500, but I will create a video about game dev budgets, covering my previous game and this one, so you should subscribe. And similar to the resources section, we should consider the tools to be used, like the software, for example, Sprite for pixel art, DaVinci Resolve for trailers, GIFs, etc. The game engine, obviously, in my case Godot 4.3 because it's perfect for 2D and open source. And then other tools like Todoist or Trello for task management, Notion or Google Docs for game design. And hey, if any company wants to sponsor me, just saying. My channel is small and all, but my audience is loyal. And talking about audience, that's the next point in the GDD. See how well I connect everything? Anyways, you need to define your audience. That means your target platforms, in most cases PC or mobile. You should also define your ideal player, although this will almost always be extremely vague. And also, you should define your pricing strategy. Is it premium, freemium? Will it have advertisements? Will you sell DLCs or battle passes? In the case of Rogue Inferno, it will be premium, obviously, most likely $12 to $15, because I don't really like mobile games that rely on advertisements, and I don't want to pay the mafia that's Apple any extra fees to publish on iOS or whatever. And we're almost done. Now you have to define the art style. You should write a simple description, like is it 2D or 3D, pixel art, realistic, that kind of stuff. And of course, you need references, any game that inspires you in the arts department. In my case, Dome Keeper and Shogun Showdown, with both of them having the same guy as pixel artists, Penusmic or Pen USB Mic, I don't know, and also Nuclear Throne. And last but not least, the most hated part of game development, the marketing. I know you hate it, you don't want to market your game, and instead you will create the best game on earth and it will sell on its own, right? Wrong. You won't create the best game on earth, and even if you do, chances are it won't sell if you don't do marketing. This depends a lot on your budget, your team size, and all that stuff. And in my case, I will focus on creating devlogs here on YouTube, and I will also post GIFs and updates on Reddit. Once the demo is ready, I will reach out to YouTubers for coverage and exposure. If you want to tell me your favorite YouTubers on the comments, I will add them to the list. And I also want to participate on Steam's Next Fest in June, just before the release. I'm considering Keymailer as well, but it's a bit confusing. I tried it for Cat Survivors, but all the accounts asking for keys behave like bots, so I'm not sure. And that's it. If you still didn't, go join my Discord, you will find my GDD template, and you will also be able to hang out with me. I will be posting updates for my game and also spoilers for future videos and stuff like that. Oh, and of course, wishlist Rogue Inferno and check my first devlog here. See ya!